Hello everyone! Today we're going to be looking at how to build this really simple and compact two-way realistic elevator that I designed for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now, as you can see, you can obviously get in here in the minecart, press any of the two buttons, and you will start going down. Now the doors close behind you, and as we make our way down, once we get to the bottom, the doors will open up. As you can see, we are headed down, and once we actually make to the bottom, the doors will open up. Usually this elevator is a tiny bit faster, but because I'm recording right now, the game's not running at full speed. For those of you who are good at Redstone, you will recognize that it's not going at full speed. Okay, so that is it for it going down, and you can obviously press that same button and it will send the elevator back up. Now I've added in the minecart, which isn't absolutely necessary, but if you are if you are building this in multiplayer, I highly recommend that you put in a minecart on the side that has the slime, because that way you can actually ride it and not risk falling through. Also, because honey isn't a fully solid block, if you stand in this far corner when the elevator is going up, you will fall through, so make sure you're standing on the side that has the slime. But that is it for the demonstration, and let's get on with the tutorial. So, you're going to start off by finding out where you want the top and the bottom section to be. So down here at the bottom, we're going to start off by building our actual door, which is going to hold the elevator. So you can go ahead and place a temporary block, 3 sticky pistons, then another temporary block, and then 3 sticky pistons, just like that. And you can place in the floor and the ceiling, just like that. Now you can go ahead and place that right there, and grab this right here is going to be our cabin, by the way. And you're going to grab 5 slime blocks, and 5 honey blocks, place them just like that, and then place 1 more of each on the side like this. You're going to place an observer here and here, and then a sticky piston facing downwards with an observer on its face facing the center, and you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So sticky piston facing downwards with an observer on its face facing the center, and the reason for which this actually works is because unlike in Java Edition and Bedrock Edition, honey blocks are actually solid blocks, which is kind of strange. I'm not sure if this is a bug or if it's an intentional feature, but it works nonetheless. So that is how this works. I actually hope that they keep it like this, because if they make it so that you have to power sticky pistons directly, it's going to make flying machines very difficult to build in the future, because unlike in Java, we don't have quasi-connectivity and many different ways to power pistons, so it would be a lot more difficult. Anyways, go ahead and do this. And you're going to grab your obsidian, place it down here at the bottom, then grab your buttons as well as solid blocks, so you're going to place them there, redstone dust there and there, and then over here you are going to place a block and then some glass right there, blocks going down here, and a block there. So you're going to have a repeater right there, and some redstone dust going up, just like this. So now the flying machine is ready to send off, but do not do it just yet, because what we're going to do is up at the top here, place in what is actually going to stop it. So from the middle layer, place 1, 2, 3, 4 temporary blocks, and then 2 obsidian, just like this. You can obviously do it from either side, because it is centered. So now we can go ahead and send the flying machine upwards. In the meantime, we can start working. Oh, I almost forgot. You need to place in these sticky pistons before we send it upwards. So you can go ahead and send it upwards. Now, in the meantime, while this is being sent upwards, we can work on the hallway on the side of this, which is actually, thankfully, going to be made of solid blocks. It doesn't have to be made out of obsidian or anything weird like that, because of how I made the flying machine. I did want to keep it simple, though, so this will not move with the cabin, although it is technically a wall of the cabin. Anyways, that's going to make its way down here, and now that's there, we can start working on the door at the top. Now, obviously, the door hasn't closed yet because we're not completely done, but we're almost there. So go ahead and place that right there, a temporary block there, and 3 sticky pistons right there, with blocks on their faces, of course. Then place blocks there and there. So now it's going to look just like the bottom part. What you're going to do now is you're going to grab your buttons, and this is where it starts being very, very different. So continue by placing a redstone block right there, and you're going to pretty much build a redstone line, which is going to go into a block right here. Okay, it's going to go into that block, and there will be a redstone torch there, a block, and then 2 more blocks with redstone dust on top of them. And this is what's going to activate and deactivate our door, pretty much when the flying machine is here or when it is not here. So when the flying machine leaves, what's going to happen is that this redstone line right here is going to be deactivated because it will pull the redstone block with it, and it will cause this redstone torch to go from deactivated to activated, which will essentially close our door. And that is how it works. It's a very simple yet efficient way of doing it. Okay, so now we have that working. So for the next part, what we will do is place in 2 blocks, 2 redstone dust, a block, a redstone torch, another block, and another redstone torch, and a block right here, and do the exact same thing on the other side, just mirrored. So 2 blocks and 2 redstone dust, a block, a redstone torch, a block, another redstone torch, and a block right there. And you can go ahead and connect these redstone lines just like this. Okay, so now that that's done, what you're going to do is that right here in front of these observers, before we do anything, we want to first of all seal off the flying machines. We're going to place obsidian here so that the flying machines do not get activated and they don't start going downwards. Okay, so place in 2 redstone dust right there, then a block there, a repeater there, and here what you're going to do is you're going to have a sticky piston with an observer on its face, and here what we will have is pretty much a redstone line that goes up, and that is essentially going to connect up to this right here, and this is going to be a monostable circuit, which will of course take an input from the buttons right here. So both of these buttons do the exact same thing. The redstone line connect at the top, and they both activate this monostable circuit. So now for the part that actually calls the elevator, what we are going to do is that we are going to actually activate this piston right here to make the wiring easier, and we're going to pretty much create a sort of redstone little staircase. It's a redstone line that's just going to go downwards. And for this part, you will need glass. Slabs will not work because slabs only allow redstone to go upwards, and glass allows to go up and down. So that is a very important thing that you should know if you're doing any type of redstone. Glass allows redstone to go up and down, whereas slabs allows to only make a little staircase that'll go upwards. So once you run out of signal strength, or on signal strength 1, by the way, I'm using the Clearwire texture pack, and a brilliant texture pack, by the way. I would definitely consider downloading it. So you're going to place a block there with a sticky piston right there and a redstone block on its face. What I mean by redstone signal of 1 is if you place another block with some redstone dust, it will not be activated. So if you place a piston here, you can see that it is clearly turned off. Okay, so now that's done, we can continue making the redstone line right here. So you can go ahead and do that just like this, and we're going to pretty much connect it up to this. So that way when we press the button, it's going to activate both of them. It's going to activate the top and the bottom, and it's going to either request it or send it down. So once the redstone line is completely built, what you are going to do is very simple, just connect it up to this. Now before we do that, we should, however, build the circuit that is going to close the doors, which I should have done earlier, but I have forgotten to. So go ahead and do that, and then place blocks here, here, and right there, and you're going to place redstone on it right there. So now we can connect this redstone line down here, and it's pretty much going to run into this right here. So redstone, oh no, we don't want to do that. Redstone here, here. You can put a block there, but this has to be a repeater so that this redstone line does not interfere. Okay, so that's done. Now we can go ahead and deactivate this redstone line right here. So now what's going to happen is that whenever you do press the button, it will send a signal all the way down, which will activate the flying machine if it does so happen to be down here. So now what we're going to do is the exact opposite of that, but before we do that, we want to do the same circuit with the actual door itself before we get on with anything else. Did that rhyme? Yeah, I think that did rhyme. Okay, that was not intentional. Okay, so over here what we're going to do is that we're going to add a lever right here, and we're going to flick this on, just like that. So now that this lever is on, it's going to be much, much easier to build the redstone line because you don't have to count manually up to 15. And yeah, it just makes your life a lot easier. So you're going to make a redstone line that goes upwards. For this part, you can use slabs, but glass is going to be much easier to place, as you can see right here. Now, when you run out of signal strength, what you're going to do, because you can't place a repeater going upwards, I mean, obviously, you're going to place a piston with a redstone torch on its face. I think this is the best way to do it. And then you're going to continue placing redstone. Now, you will, however, need to count for this, so we have done 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then this will be the 16th one, and we can continue going upwards. So just like that. And once you get to pretty much this point right here, actually it's a tiny bit further up. Okay, so once you get to this point right here, you're going to place a sticky piston facing upwards with an observer on its face, and that is pretty much going to connect to this redstone line right here. So now, if we are to press any of the buttons, it will send the flying machine up. Okay, brilliant. So that is actually the redstone done. If you want to, we can go ahead and remove these two blocks right here, which are going to then allow us to activate the flying machine and send it downwards. So yeah, obviously this flying machine is a tiny bit faster. As you can see, there is quite a bit of lag right now, but that is because I am just recording my screen. So once it makes it down to the bottom, the doors will open, and you will then be able to enter the elevator. And of course, the doors up at the top have closed. If you want to add a minecart, it is very simple. You just need a rail and minecart. I mean, what else did you expect to need? But I will do that once it arrives to the bottom. In the meantime, what you could do is build a hallway or more of a wall out of glass here, because come on, if you don't build a wall out of glass right there, you are a psychopath. Why would you hide your own work and a nice view from those riding your elevator? It makes no sense whatsoever. And anyways, now that the door is open, what we can do is place in a rail and a minecart and break it. So now you can ride that minecart up or down. And keep in mind, if you want the minecart to be on the other side, it's not as simple as pushing it. You actually have to swap the slime blocks for the honey blocks, but that isn't really all that complicated. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I did put a lot of time into making this video. I've done so many retakes. This is probably like the 11th by now. But yeah, that'll be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I hope this was very useful and that you enjoyed it. But I will see you all next time. Bye!